it on? Fine. Is it showing any sign of recording?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yes, it's recording. Okay. So first of all, coming to the first question, did you have any kind of prior internal audit experience, like in articleship, or because now we are working under in Deloitte, okay?
yeah.
But earlier, did you have like during your articleship, have you performed any kind of works or handled any things?
Yes. So, firstly, before I begin, thank you so much, Sai, for a warm welcome and
My
great
pleasure.
introduction. Happy to be here. Looking forward to an interactive webinar. So, yes,
Yes.
coming back to the question, I had an internal audit experience for a brief time. Mostly, my article experience was in and around taxation, litigation, and statutory
Okay.
audits. But I was
Okay.
lucky enough to do two internal audit assignments during that period. So one was the internal audit of telecommunication company which provided infrastructure for telecommunication. So it was one of the prominent companies in Northeast. So I'm not mentioning the client's name
Okay.
to
Yeah,
keep the
yeah, sure. Yeah, I
confidentiality issues.
understand the
And
confidentiality.
along with that, yeah, along with that, I was part of internal audit team for Nationalized Bank. So this two were
Great.
one of the prominent internal audit based clients for me. So during that I developed the interest for internal audit. It is very much client facing role where there are a lot of different problems with different types of clients that you need to solve on daily basis. Which a stat auditor is more of with the balance sheets and books of accounts and everything, but internal audit you see beyond the books of accounts what is
Yes.
actually happening in the process. So
Yes.
that's where my interest I've developed that interest so far.
I understand that because uh, as you have this profile in like in CS2 and national conferences, you are an orator. So internal audit also involves a lot of communication with the organization also well. So now
Yes.
I understand where you linked your motivation. Okay. So what's like you have worked and you have understood the points. So what were some specific points which motivated you to join internal audit? Like like you wanted to go in that direction. Why?
Okay. So there were three main things which I would like to mention. One was the direct client interaction. We
Okay.
used to interact with every level of employees there in the organization, right from the process owners, the analyst, clerical staff, to managers and the CFO, CEOs of the company, executive directors as well. So one was the client interaction. Second was the exposure that I've got while interacting with the different levels of employees there in the organization. Third was preparing and delivering the client presentation. So internal audit is not just about the audit report that we submit. We have to go to the management, present our report, their project. It is an exhaustive process where you do the process review, you prepare the presentation, you give the presentation, and then we do an ATR as well. After the audit, you go back to the process owners and go back to your observations and check whether what you
Okay.
have suggested has been corrected or not. So it's an
Okay.
end-to-end process, very exhaustive, very creative. You need to put a creative mind to it. And yes, the report writing, very different from
Mm.
statutory auditors. It, you can really use your creative skills along with analytical skills and come up with great reports. Which, I've seen throughout my 1.5 years in Deloitte. So various reports, fabulous reports with my team members. So yeah, that's what motivated me.
That's really nice. I just thought because I had experience in concurrent audit. Okay. I didn't have like a proper internal audit experience ever. Okay.
Okay.
So in concurrent audit we have this checklist and we used to get that checklist and just perform and submit the report and then it's over. Okay.
Yes.
But now as you're saying about internal audit, like preparing the reports, presenting it to the management and everything, like that's a really good work to be honest. I'm getting to know in detail. And so now coming to your present work profile in Deloitte. So yes, this is one of the uh, like main profiles in one of the topmost big fours. And so how was your interview experience? Like how did you reach out to Deloitte and like how did the entire procedure go? Kindly listen to this, guys. Lot of insights will be coming for like and questions will also be coming. Yeah.
Okay. So the experience, the process was both rigorous and rewarding, I would say. For me, the interview happened in 2 rounds. So generally, it depends on candidate's profile, how many rounds of interview you go through. I had to go through 2 rounds of interview. First was the DM round. The deputy manager in the
Okay.
panel would interview me. He would ask me series of technical and academic questions. The panel was focused on verifying my theoretical foundations and understanding of the industry. The questions were designed to test not only my knowledge but also my analytical skills. So, and the second and the final round was the director's round, where and this stage was more focused on behavioral and CV based, CV specific questions.
Okay.
So first it was a behavioral round. And they must tell me something about yourself. So
Okay.
that window, when you get that question, it is, you have to make the most of it. You just, I mean, 5 minutes. I hardly will get 5 to 2 minutes, and then you have to sell yourself.
Yes.
You have to put out everything, your traveling, passion for travel, you can say, which would give out that you are flexible, agile enough to move around the uh, road,
Yes.
travel cross locations and everything. So you have to be very, very, very specific, and you have to be thorough with what you have written in your CV, because the director which interviewed me has grilled me on the details which I mentioned in my CV for the previous client work, both
Okay.
in micro level, like specific tasks and nuances, and at the macro level, which is the overall scope and impact of my project. The
Okay.
director's questions were extensive, in-depth, and it reflects the firm's emphasis on ensuring that the candidate has to have both technical expertise and the practical insights, from his or her previous experiences. So
Okay.
this layer of interviews that has the key takeaway from there, that I have to be thoroughly prepared, not just academically, but also I have to be better and in articulating my experiences, because
Mm.
it we hardly you'll get 20 minutes of total round of interview, and
Yes.
you have to give your best. So be
Yes.
crisp, short, and precise as much as
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah. We should not extend it unnecessarily,
Yeah.
the answers
Yes.
and
Yes.
everything. So the first round was your deputy manager round where you had technical, and the
Yes.
second round was with your director,
Yes.
right? Which where you had behavioral and CV based questions. So
Correct.
in deputy manager's round, so how much duration was it? 15 minutes?
Deputy manager around went up to around 30 minutes, because they
Oh,
will,
okay.
yeah, he would ask me from basics to, advanced level questions. Basic in the sense, control commands of Excel. From
Okay.
there, he would go to the provisions of TDS, provision of
Okay.
Companies Act. So it was through and through, end to end.
Okay. So how, like, what are the subjects which you touched in your DM round?
It touched only those topics which I mentioned in CV. Like I mentioned
Okay.
about my experience of stat audit. So there, he has covered Companies Act, Indian
o-
accounting standards,
Okay.
GST. I also
Okay.
had a litigation and taxation experience, and so he asked a lot of questions about Income Tax Act, GST provisions, I used to do GST reconciliation, testing, reviews, etc. So whatever you write in your CV, you have to be through. Even if I'm mentioning the skill set of advanced Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint, I have to be thorough. Like I have to know the basic advanced Excel formulas. You would even ask me the formula,
Yes.
how to
Yes.
apply VLOOKUP,
Yeah.
how to
They
apply
would they
sums.
would even go up to ask the arguments also in Excel
Yes,
formula.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah. Nice. So they almost touched many topics like accounting, GST, and
yes.
accounting, GST, and
Companies Act.
taxation
Yeah.
also, like all the subjects. So I
Yes.
had one internal audit experience, interview experience, like post qualification of CA. That was my first interview. Just immediately after 2 days of qualifying CA, I wasn't fully prepared and everything. I just
Okay.
casually went for the interview. It was a topmost internal audit firm in India, like Protiviti.
Okay.
So they hire only for internal audit, like no other
Mm.
profile. Okay,
Okay.
so I went for that interview and I had questions of all of the subjects which you said, like from accounting, then DT, IDT, then all the like whatever जितना भी scope हो सकता है, they asked.
Yes.
So when you're going for internal audit, you should be very specific with all the subjects and what can you check for a company's like books of accounts or
Yes.
whatever. So
So
that's
even
nice.
they would ask, since you're mentioning that, I
Yeah.
would also like to mention, they would even ask provisions. Like he would ask me, uh, the report of IFC, Internal Financial
Yes.
Control.
Yes.
in which sections of Companies Act does it appear. So there were 4 sections in the Companies Act which mentioned about IFC and who are the reportees or whom should we furnish. So
Yes.
the questions can go up to this
Yeah,
micro.
micro level. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to be very careful of what you're mentioning in your CV. Like every single word, they can take
yes,
up anything and they can dig. Yes,
correct.
I was already cooked earlier in the interview, so I know. Oh yes. So now, this is one of the most important questions, and so now you join the company after the interview, and you will be assigned a client. That's the basic thing which everyone knows. So when a client is assigned to you, and till you end that financial relationship with the client, so what's the entire process? Like right from day one till the last day. So how do you handle an internal audit client? So what's the basic process?
Okay. So when the client is assigned to us, we have a internal meeting. We co-develop the expectations within our team. We set up hierarchy in the team. Like there will be an engagement manager, engagement director, quality reviewer, and the engagement partner.
Okay,
Below
all
them,
are
there
CAs?
not necessarily, but
Okay,
mostly CAs.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. So below the engagement manager, there will be a team lead, a TL. Below there will be the team members. So they can be CAs, CMAs, MBAs, engineers. So we have a variety, I mean, a mixed bag of team. So it's not necessarily has to be a CA or a CS or CMA for that sake. So we co-develop expectations. We understand the business, I mean, the industry of the client. We go through the past audit reports, balance sheets, etc. We go line item
okay,
wise. Where can we find how to set up the scope, how to plan the audit plan. Then set up a kickoff meeting with the management and the process owners to understand and take a walkthrough of the process that we are reviewing, like for procure to pay. We sit
okay.
with the procurement team, the finance team. We take a
Hmm.
walk through how the process is running currently. Then we go through and map it with the documented SOPs, whether the same is followed or not. So
Hmm.
this is how we plan. We prioritize the risk areas. So we have prioritized the areas where we can find the probable risk. So that's how we come up with the audit plan. So
Okay, okay. Yes.
we assign the task to the respective team members. One is to look in this part, the other is to look in part B. So a detailed audit plan is made, agreed timelines are set. We execute the audit and complete within the agreed timeline. So in Deloitte, meeting the timeline is one of the important things that we do.
Yes.
So again, yes, we hold periodic check-ins with the client Spock. We sit with them. We have a one-to-one with them. So far, our progress is this. So how do we plan further? What areas needs to be checked in more depth? So we have a one-on-one with those clients Spock. Then at the end, it's time for the results and deliverables. So we sum up the entire audit report into a PPT format or the Word format
Okay.
as agreed as per the engagement terms.
Okay.
So we crunch our audit report, and there is a section called executive summary, so
Okay.
which directly gets presented to the KMPs and management CFO,
Got it.
CEOs of the company. So when the final presentation is done to the CFOs and the management personnel, so we hardly get 15 minutes window with them. So in that 15 minutes, we have to sum up the entire report and highlight the
Okay.
key risk area that we have
That's
noted,
very tough.
and give the total business synopsis to them. So
Hmm.
preparing that powerful, impactful executive summary is one of the main focus while we draft the audit report, and
Yes.
we give a thematic representation of the observation. The high risk
Okay.
comes up, medium risk followed by the medium, and the low.
Okay. Okay.
So risk grading depends on client to client. We have a fixed risk grading and alerts which we follow for different client and sectors. So this is how an end-to-end thing is done. This is where our review part and reporting part ends. Post
Okay.
that, again, as I've mentioned it before, ATR, action taken,
Hmm.
response is done. So what we
Okay.
have reported, we will go back and then we'll check whether the same has been rectified or corrected or implemented, suggestions which are being implemented or not, and give a separate report on that. So
Hmm.
this sums up the entire review.
Got it.
So
That.
generally, the time goes up to 2 to 3 months. I mean, for a larger client.
Okay.
So within the limited timeline, we have to do exhaustive checking. Again, internal audit. We have to have the minute details, transaction level details. which we have to do. A lot of checking, voluminous checking, we have to go through. And we also deploy some analytical tools to
Yeah.
run through with high volume of data so that we can get
Mm-hmm.
maximum results in short of frame of time.
Yes.
So that's how we handle the client.
That's a really exhaustive process, and I think all of the skills which CAs gain, I think apply to this particular process,
Yes.
and like analytically, technically, creatively, like you are doing almost all the things, like
Yes.
right from the
And
base level with interaction, then presentation. I think this is one of the best profiles which CAs can work
yeah, and
really.
that's when the advanced IT and IT classes which we take during our intermediate
Yes,
comes into handy because
yes, all
we
the
were
classes.
already skilled to do that.
Right, right. So, for a particular client, like you said the role names, like the team lead or like the engagement partner and everyone. So, how many
Mhm.
total number of persons are assigned to a particular client?
Depends on the client size. So
Okay.
there is I would just give an example. There was a client that I recently closed, me and my team recently closed, was a
Hmm.
600 crores turnover company. So
Okay.
there was a one engagement manager, one quality reviewer, which was a
Hmm.
director, and there was engagement partner. Below
Hmm.
them, there was one team lead and three team members.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
So,
how.
like you are working for a particular client, and then are you simultaneously attached more than one client? Does it happen?
Yes, yes. So at Big Four, one thing that CAs need to do is they have to handle multiple clients at once.
Oh, guys,
Minimum
note
two.
down this. Yes,
Yeah, minimum two. Again, not of the same industry necessarily, different industry. You have to do simultaneously, juggle between both of the clients, plan accordingly. So
that's
that's
it.
one thing. But it is interesting
It's
and
interesting. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you need to have multitasking skills.
Yes, yes. From
Otherwise,
day one.
yeah, right from day one.
So when I joined, it was overwhelming for me as well.
Yes,
During my first week at Deloitte, so a lot of things were going on, and I was trying to get a hang of it. But slowly, with my manager, of course, he helped me
yeah, yeah, I get.
get a hang of all the things. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
that's
I.
nice. That's nice of the culture. And how does your regular day look like? Like, uh, if you visit your office, how does your day look like? And if you work at your client place, how does your day look like? Just give me the difference.
So a typical day in internal audit is never monotone, as far as I can say. It is very interesting. So first thing is the diverse client portfolio that you will have. So every client in my portfolio comes from a different industry. So like, no client is of same industry. So the
Okay.
diversity means that every day new challenges and new learning opportunities. Secondly, there is a collaborative environment. I work alongside a team of supportive colleagues. Our
Okay.
collaborative efforts and regular interaction, team discussions helped us to perform better. So in places where I would get stuck, I would talk to my fellow colleagues working in a different engagement. We would talk, we would come up with common solutions, and then we would perform better, give better results in our respective assignments. Again, then lastly, it is the continuous learning where understanding new industry practices, adapting to unique client challenges. Every day is a new opportunity to learn and grow. That's how a day in AI looks like.
So
So
there
you
is
are
no
always
point
up for
of being
surprises.
monotonous.
No, it's not at all monotonous.
That's a
Every day
really,
is
really
different.
good thing. Because even when you have 10, 20 years of experience also, if you get a particular client again, then you have to relearn the things
Yes.
and like keep a lot of things aside and start learning as per
Yeah.
the client needs.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's a
always
really
learn, unlearn, and relearn.
yes, yes, right. I get that point. And now we have one question from the
Yeah.
audience. Can you please tell us about scoping and how is it done? What things are considered and how are the priority levels determined for the particular areas? Like I think what you have mentioned, the high risk areas, medium risk, and low risk. So how do you decide that? I think the question is about that.
Okay. So, coming up to the scoping part, the scope is decided when we pitch for the client. We pitch our service offerings, and then client come up with that we need your help review certain processes like procure to pay, hire to retire, so on and so forth. The scope is given by the client, and basis that we have our one-to-one discussion with process
Hmm.
owners,
Hmm.
go through the data, and then we come up with certain observations, like observations or audit outliers, audit queries. So as and when we go forward with the audit, we come up with certain areas, like, and we grade it like high risk, medium, and low risk.
Hmm.
Again, basis on the the financial parameters and the process level parameters. So if there is a
Yes.
process gap which we see which is supposed to be done and it's not done, it's a high risk area, even though the amount is low. So again it depends on case to case basis. There is no standard checklist that
Yes.
a particular engagement can fit in. So it's different for different engagements.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that's a
Yeah.
perfect
And
answer.
the judgment of labeling it as high risk and low risk is again with experience. Like the
Yes.
more you
Yes.
work, the more you know about it. So that's how you will grade it.
That's a subjective thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very subjective thing.
Yeah, and like deciding the scope, like I can't exactly say the details because they are confidential, but if you are
Yeah.
appointing a consultant, like you
Mhm.
want to appoint a consultant, then as a client, from my side, I will give the scope to them that what
Hmm.
exactly the consultant needs to give to me. Like
Correct.
if I want to enter into a particular industry, then like if the consultant is Deloitte, I'm offering to Deloitte, then Deloitte will see that scope given by me and then apply according to that scope. So
Correct.
exactly that's how it works.
Yes, yes.
So
Again, it's
Deloitte will
really
see whether yeah,
decided.
yeah,
Hmm.
Deloitte will see whether it can match the client needs or like whether it can't match. So and then they will discuss and they have the interaction. Yes, the process is exactly how it works in the real life. So
Okay. Yeah, there is very much scope of CMAs and internal audit, Ronnie. Yes, we do have a lot of CMAs in our team as well. So yeah, I mean, you know the depth of costing, if I'm not wrong, in CMAs. So you
yes,
do the pricing, costing, you know, the granular details of it, which is again very useful in some of our reviews. We review the cost estimation, we review the costing, pricing of the product that needs to be set. So that's where you can use full of your CMA knowledge there. So IA is, I mean, open to all. It's an open forum.
hmm,
Anyone with analytical and the, the need to learn with interest can always join.
that's nice. That's nice. And like as she asked about CMAs, okay, so Companies Act like specifically says like
Hmm.
regarding one section 138, like CA, CMAs and any other qualification as decided by the board of directors, they are eligible to perform internal audit. So
Hmm.
in your like in your team or in your company, like what kind of qualifications like people do have, like in your IA team, like you
Okay.
generally see.
So we have professionals from CA, CMA, and CS background. We have professionals
Oh,
from MBA. We even have BCom graduates,
oh,
semi-qualified, engineers, mechanical to electrical to civil.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is an open forum. I mean, very interesting. I even worked with some of the civil engineers, some of the mechanical engineers in one of the engagement for a listed company, Indian company. So it was, I mean, learning experience. I would
Yes.
learn something from them. They would learn something from me. So very interactive, collaborative.
Yes. So we received one of the question like what kind of upskilling is required for IA? And we have this question. I have this question. Okay, so I will definitely take this up at some point later. Okay. So we have like some other interesting questions to take up. Then I will add that. Okay. And like while you're performing the internal audit, like what are the subjects like you said now cost estimation or costing. So
Mhm.
do you touch all the subjects do we read in CA final or CA inter? Like
Mm,
what are the theoretical topics do you touch basically?
we touch all the topics. So primarily, when you join as a post qualification as a fresher, you need to be very thorough with GST, Income Tax Act, Companies Act, and Indian accounting standards.
Oh, nice.
It has to be on your fingertips, because it
Yes.
will give you a head start. You to get a hang of it, because once you join as a CA, you will be surely made a team lead in the assignment. So you have to have that kind of quick knowledge. So you see a
Yes.
transaction and you can identify quickly what is the
Yeah.
implication. So,
Yeah.
and coming up to other subjects like cost account, I mean, costing is again, it's an important one, costing
Yes.
subject, and then financial, there's one more subject, advanced financial management,
Yes. SFM.
such
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
stocks. So
Yes.
again, that is also important, but it depends on the client. If you're doing any
Yes.
client from BFSI sector, like banking and insurance sector, you need to have that knowledge. So
Okay.
it depends on the client, but majorly the four subjects that I've mentioned earlier
FR, law, audit,
are law,
taxation.
taxation,
Like that's like they are the core,
basic
like
foundation.
basic, and you don't you ha there is no excuse to be to be low on these four subjects. So you have to be an expert, and even though you didn't have any kind of practical experience, you need to be theoretically very strong with respect to these four subjects because they are asked in the interview as well,
Correct.
as you said. So
Hmm.
right, so guys, internal audit is just not a normal profile. Get ready, you need to be very strong with all the profiles, all the
Hmm.
subjects, whatever you read.
Yeah,
And
and it then once you join the profile, you have to keep on studying. So
yes,
even if you haven't studied the Minimum Wages Act or the Factories Act in your curriculum, you need to have that knowledge. So over the time, you have to keep on studying. So what I had to study was the Provident Fund Act, Minimum Wages Act, Factories Act. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
not in our course, but still had to go through and then give my opinion on that. So
yes.
you have to learn. You have to
So
learn,
these
study.
apps, yeah, these apps come in CMA inter syllabus. So
Oh,
CMA inter and law
then the
syllabus.
CMA guys
Yeah.
will have an advantage.
Yeah, CMA guys do have the advantage because they study Companies Act and all the subjects as well as they get into costing in depth and the acts which you mentioned, extra acts. So they get uh, the exposure there.
Yeah,
Okay, so
correct.
now we have some other questions.
Mhm.
Uh, if so, Vasant is asking if a candidate does not have any prior IA experience in articles, can such person get into core IA roles in Big Fours? If so, what are the core skills such a person? That is a that is a really good question. Like if someone doesn't have IA experience in articleship and they want to go into IA post qualification, so what do you suggest, Sonia?
So I can resonate because I was one of them.
Oh, nice.
I had major experience in taxation and stat audit, like very less I experience.
Hmm.
So again, yeah, when I was getting interviewed, my director would ask that you don't have internal audit experience, so why should we hire you in the
Hmm.
core IA
Hmm.
profile? So I convinced him that I want a client facing role and I have what it takes to be in that role. I am open to learning, I'm curious, I'm having the problem solving skills, I'm willing to adapt and innovate. So, you have to sell yourself. Even if you don't know, you have to sell yourself and you have to give them the confidence that you are fit for that.
Yes. Right. So this question, like it is not just applicable to internal audit, any kind of profile, like if you are going into it without having any kind of practical experience, then one of the biggest tip is because I too went into product control role post qualification, but I never worked in product control in my articleship. So the thing is have proper theoretical knowledge and prove
Yes.
to them like
Hmm.
whatever technical questions she would have faced in her interview, she would have answered all of them. So if the employer gets the confidence that yes, whatever practically, if we teach her, then she will immediately catch the thing. Then like the work is done. So get yourself fully like get into the theoretical part. Then I think you are ready to go,
Yeah.
Vasant. And then we'll take up Muskan's question. How pressing is it from the client's end regarding the deliverables? Okay, deliverables pressure. And in case the client gives us a tough time, um, are the senior members supportive enough to call out the client? This is a good question because deliverables are very important. Yeah.
Yeah, so recently the engagement that we closed had a similar thing. Like we had some pressure from the client to close the audit and get the things going as fast as possible. And yes, it can be overwhelming, but you have to keep your cool. You have to be calm and poised, no matter how difficult things goes. It's not always rosy. We sometimes do have a one-on-one with the client,
Yeah, yeah.
but then again, we are the professional. We are
Yes.
We have to uphold that image. We cannot, utter something which is not professional. So yes, you have to keep calm, go back, restart next day, start afresh. Yeah, and
The heat
for me it
times.
was a little easier because I had lovely team. I had a lovely team. So my manager, Touchwood, very
That's nice.
supportive. Yes, he do call out the client when things would get unreasonable. So yeah, for me so far the it has been good. But yeah, there has been some days of pressure and overwhelmed, stressful nights, pulling up an all-nighter with a team. But with a good team, you can sail through.
That's nice. So it completely depends upon the team. So where you're
Yes,
posted. So
yes.
that's a really good question. And so Soumyadeep is asking, is there a like taxation? Is there a separation between Indian and global roles in internal audit? If yes, is it feasible to interchange our roles from one to another?
Like taxation, there is no like
Like, do you get assigned in global clients also, like, or Indian clients? Like, I think the
no, no.
question is
We
like that.
have global clients. Recently,
Yes.
we it is assignment is going on with one of the international clients as well, one
Yeah.
of the Middle East countries.
Hmm.
So, I mean, like taxation, there is no separate, carved out differences. So we
Hmm.
can go and, do the
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
auditing of a global company as well. Because more or
Yes.
less the internal audit guidelines is pretty much streamlined across
Yes.
globe.
Yes. So because like internal audit is mostly about operational risk areas. It's
Yes,
not more
yes.
about the taxation laws
Statutory
or
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So even if you
So
see SOX assignment is I mean, international engagement. But if you see the process, how it is done, you will see most of things are similar to IFC, which is done in India. So, I mean, SOX is more exhaustive thing, but it's not totally offbeat that you have to, forget the IFC and start fresh for SOX. So yeah, a little more exhaustive, but more or less same. You will get a hang of it.
yeah, yeah. So you can easily handle. And regarding the higher qualifications, I do have that question. I will definitely take that up later. And Sridhar Gupta has another question. Can you please guide me which domain should be preferred for articleship, statutory or internal audit? Like which would provide extensive learning? So I think the
Okay.
answer is pretty simple till now because statutory audit, like you can say the answer, Sonia, because yes, yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, I did statutory auditing, but nothing against it.
Yeah.
It is again a good
Yes,
profile.
yes.
But
Hmm.
slowly, with NAFRA coming in, with more
Hmm.
stringent the audit guidelines is going for statutory auditors, it has become more of a checklist based. So
Hmm.
you are working within a definite framework, and you're doing like if this is mentioned as per the law, whether this is there or not. But, I mean, creativity is not there. You have a defined set of document, you
Yes.
see this and you do the work. But
Yes.
internal audit, it's a playground.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can do anything you want.
Anything you want.
Yeah. So I would recommend the question, who was
Sridhar
it?
Gupta.
Sridhar. I would recommend you to go for internal audit profile because it
Yes.
has a wider scope. You do internal audit, you will automatically be able to do stat audit.
Hmm, right. Right, yes. Because in stat audit, like mostly I had the experience, like in banks I used to do. So in stat audit, we just used to have 3 to 4 days of audit, and then everything used to be on sampling basis. But
Yes, yes. Even the
when
LFRA had this
yes, yes,
definite format.
yes, right. So uh and one of the things linked, sorry, sorry, I forgot, but it's fine. And yeah, regarding, I wanted to tell regarding the internal audit, like I did my industrial training in IOCL. So
Okay.
in that, like IOCL used to have this internal audit, used to have a portal, like what was that? Sorry, in information systems management like portal, something used to be there, internal audit system management portal. So in that, like whatever operational issues used to have, all those issues used to come on that portal, and we used to solve at the state level offices. So internal audit works differently when you do it from the client side. Like Deloitte is an outsourcing organization, it gets clients and it performs. But when you do internal audit from a company perspective, like you are working for a particular company and you are doing internal audit for the company, so then it works different. as an employee of that company. I think
Yes,
there's a difference in that. So I
there's a
just wanted to
difference.
say that thing specifically.
So in my first job, which was in amalgamated plantations, I did not do much of internal audit, but it was outsourced to
Hmm.
PwC. So
Hmm.
yeah, it is different when you do it
Uh-huh.
within as an employee and then
Hmm.
as a consultant. So
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, right.
that's
And Devyani has another question. If someone has a professional qualification like CA, ACCA, CPA, along with experience in IA, what benefit can an IIA degree bring to the table? So, do you have any idea
it.
regarding the IIA degree? So, let me just Google it. Even I don't
Yes,
have
yes.
that.
Luckily, I mean, I recently joined a webinar done by
Okay.
II last
Okay.
Friday. So
Okay.
there we have learned a lot about internal audit and how a degree of IIA, like the Certified Internal Auditor (CIA), would add up.
Yes.
So yes, IIA is offering three types of program, which is internal audit practitioner, certified internal auditor, and one more course. I'm forgetting the name, but I'll get
Okay.
back to you on that.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yes, uh, it gives you a total, global as well as Indian perspective of how the internal audit is working. Like for stat audit, we study standards on auditing during our CA. So when you do IIA, you learn more about the how internal audit engagement is planned, how to go about it, the foundation of internal auditing, ethical and professionalism, governance, risk management, evaluation of internal controls, how to identify the fraud risk and prepare a mitigation plan, how to gather a document and evaluate the audit evidences, how to supervise and communicate. So what I was saying is internal audit is more about expressing, uh, presenting what you have done so far in your assignment. So IIA courses are covering giving you a holistic training about how to do an end to end, like from planning, client pitching, planning, execution, report, and presentation. So yes, I was even going to cover that
Yeah.
throughout the webinar about IIA. So good that I have this question now. So
Nice.
definitely
Uh,
post qualification, you should really go
yes.
for the IIA courses. One benefit that CA degree holders would have is CIA challenge examination. So
Okay.
generally, the CIA examination is held in three parts.
Okay.
So it had around 150 to 180 multiple choice questions and within the time frame of 180 minutes.
Hmm.
So for people who are not CAs or other degree holders would need to have minimum of 5 years of work ex before you get
Yes.
that certification. But CAs, luckily, you would have to give only one examination of 150 multiple choice questions within 180 minutes, and then they would get the degree. So that's one benefit that CAs will have. So even I also had this question like I have done my CA, what next? So yes,
Yeah,
if you are
right.
looking into a field of internal audit as your career so ahead, you should definitely do the CIA.
Yeah, you should definitely. If one is having a specialization and they want to continue in that, adding
Mm-hmm.
a degree is like it's always an S.
Yes,
Always
yes.
an S. Like there is no other scenario because degree would always add to your resume and like it
Mm-hmm.
can scale up your technical knowledge or like because I think this is something like CFA because CFA also tests you on the practical aspects of a particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
The questions are all based on application based questions.
Correct,
So
correct.
I think so IIA also tests
Yeah,
regarding that.
yeah.
Okay. And then like Dilshad, like as we are discussing about higher qualifications, like there was also a question. What is about higher qualifications like CISA and CIA, like Certified Information Systems Auditor, and CIA Certified Internal Auditor. So do you
I would
find any?
suggest one should go for CIA because CIA is more holistic
Yes.
and yeah, it's more holistic, which covers your behavioral aspect as well as operational presentations, everything. So CIA any day.
Yeah, right. And then
Production.
Muskan Gupta has asked like CIA or CFE, which is a better CFE Certified Fraud Examiner. So,
Uh-huh.
any
So
opinion regarding?
CIA covers your fraud risk identification and
Yes,
mitigation. So CIA is a
yes,
bigger set.
yeah. So, I think CFE is regarding forensic auditing. Like it goes on that side, I think
Hmm.
so because it covers the fraud aspect. So, but
Yes, yes,
CIA company, CIA aligns on your company side and operational risk.
correct,
I
correct.
think
You
yes.
can
So
choose the
CIA
for.
would be a better option. But if you're on forensic auditing, if your profile, then you can go for CFE.
Yes.
When Laksha
So,
is question.
Lakshya, can you please guide how, as a BBA fresher, we can join Big Four for internal audit domain? So, Lakshya, yes, again, I don't know about the role that you would be offered, but yes, definitely you can interview for a BBA with a BBA degree in internal audit because we have people in our team with BCom and BBA. So they start off with a little lower and you would not obviously get a AM designation or a consultant designation, but you can always work up to that designation with your work. So promotions in Big Four is again performance linked, I would say. The better you perform, the more chances you get to climb up the ladder. So it's the performance, it's the behavioral aspect which matters. So yes,
Right.
you can join internal audit domain as a BBA.
Yes. So I think we are done with the questions, but I do have a lot of questions. So now you have joined at the entry level in Big Four. So how does the growth look like? Like what are the various hierarchy levels and like if you scale up in the present company, so how does the growth look like in internal audit profile?
Growth is great. So again, it's a performance-based, performance-linked.
Yes.
So the better you perform, the higher chances of you getting promoted. So we have cases where people, have climbed the ladder so fast and they have immaculate knowledge, skills. Even I am fortunate to work with one in my team. So that
Right.
person is an MBA graduate.
Okay.
He has the level of analytical skills I tell you. Sometimes I would
Nice.
wonder. So yeah, I mean, I, you have an open playground. You perform and then you get rewarded. I mean, yes, you have to crunch the hours, you have to work harder, but then at the end, it is all worth it.
Like, can you explain the positions? Like you can raise a VP or director. Like, who is the like? Can you scale up the positions if you get promoted? Like, if you are,
Um, So I won't give the age
yeah,
and
yeah,
how fast they have done it, but
yes,
yeah, I've seen people, with I have joined. I would be completing 2 years very soon, and I've seen two, three people climbing up very fast. Like yeah, they joined as senior analyst, and then senior analyst, and now they're consultant. So
okay.
within 2 years, they have done a lot of good work, and the report they have come up with, it's so yeah.
Nice, nice. So, if you have to reach the topmost position in your organization, like how many years? Like it would take 25,
Uh,
30, or 20 years.
mm, I won't say 20, but yeah, within 15 years, you would reach a very good position.
That's a really nice thing because if someone
Because we have
qualifies
a
at,
lot of young partners and
ye-
directors, in
yes,
Deloitte as a whole. So, yeah, I mean, if you work hard, you will get rewarded. I mean,
yes.
it's
So
not an age factor that, up to 3, 4 years you have to work there and then only you'll get promoted. If you are good enough, you'll get promotion in your as well. So,
So, like suppose even if you get qualified at 23, 24, and you join at 25. So if you're saying it 15 years, let's take it 20 years also. So by 45 or maybe 48 or something, they would reach the topmost position, even if they are averagely performing. And then like after that, like do they switch into bigger organizations? Like
mm,
have you seen those cases?
average performance won't get you
Yeah.
anywhere in Deloitte.
Okay. Got it.
So you cannot be an average performer
Got
first.
it. There is no excuse, guys.
You cannot be, I mean, they won't let you become an average position. So if
Yeah.
you're not performing, they will switch you. They'll
Yeah.
move you across clients and they will make sure you work and you
Work.
learn.
Yes.
So yes, that is
Got
not
it.
an option. That's
Got it.
totally ruled out. So yeah, I mean, by the time you reach a certain position, let's say director or associate director or partner, you would be seasoned. You would be seasoned, grilled, and you would have vast knowledge. So
Yes.
by that, I mean, yeah, you have to have that knowledge. They will see the potential and then they will promote you.
Yeah. So Lakshay is asking one more question. Where should I start to study? Like, do I need to have CA inter-level knowledge or lesser would also work? Please answers. I think Lakshay has asked as a BBA fresher. I think he's into BBA. Lakshay, what's your qualification? Like, then I think we can take that. Like, how much
Maybe,
BBA?
maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you have to have thorough knowledge. I mean, BBA, I'm not very sure about how the courses look like in BBA, but I think accounting is there. Accounting and management accounting or something is there. So yeah, you have to be thorough with your subjects, and you have to convince them that see, this is what I have studied, and I can apply my knowledge in that domain to give you better output, or have a better deliverable. So yes, behavioral aspect and presentation skills, which is taught in BBA, comes a lot handy. So you have to go to clients, pitch them, present your report. So that's how you can sell your BBA skills. You need not necessarily have the entire knowledge of CA enter. You can play around with your level of your set of skill sets or your subjects as well.
Right.
But yes,
And
do upskill and try learning the advanced Excel, PPT, Word, and SAP majorly. So try upscaling them post your qualification, post your graduation.
right. I think he has a BBA. Like as you said, there are also MBAs in your internal audit team. So even
Mhm.
if you have MBA level knowledge also, I think it would work to start as an MBA.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. So next we'll talk about this Dilshad question regarding the softwares they are using. Like what are the like tools you use? Like what how much do you need to update yourself with respect to the technologies? Because these days auditing involves a lot of tools as you mentioned, like Excel, Python, SQL, Power BI. Like can you just give insights regarding that?
Okay. So for internal audit, we don't stick to one specific tools or softwares. We have to work as per the client's ERP. If a client is working on an SAP, we have to learn, we have to have a knowledge of SAP.
Yes.
If they're working in MS 365, we have to know about that. If they're working in some in-house software that they have developed, we have to have knowledge of that as well. So it is again continuous. We don't really stick to Python, SQL, or Power BI. But yes, Power BI is will help you to uh, run through the data and come up with really attractive data analysis, graphs, etc. Power BI is a good thing. Python and SQL depends on client to client. If you have an internal audit client in TNT, like technology and transformation, so having Python or SQL would help. But again, if you have a client at consumer end, which is using SAP, or manufacturing, which is using an SAP, you have to have knowledge of SAP.
Right. That's a really nice answer. And if you are okay, then you can answer the Ronnie's question. That's up to
Okay,
you.
package again, it's not specific to degree. It is
Okay.
more based on the skill and how the interview goes. But again, CAs generally are hired on AM. That's what I have seen so far. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they are hired at an AM level, assistant manager.
Yes. Yes.
But again, if you are given a particular designation, you have to justify your pay. So even if you're getting 4 lakh, you have to give an output of worth 8 lakh, double. It's always 2x. So
Right.
it really depends how your interview goes, what skill set you depict in your job. There is no fixed band as such.
Can you mention specific range, like 8 to 12 or
Hmm, 8 for a fresher AM
CA?
can expect. I don't know actually. It generally moves from 8 to 10, depends. Again,
Yes.
some people are even bagging 11, 12 also.
Yeah.
They've been a fresher. So I won't be the right person to answer to that.
Yeah, mostly I think as much knowledge I have, I can say that like it's mostly between 8 to 12,
Mm,
like anywhere.
mm,
Not too much less or not too much higher at that.
mm,
Okay. Then like regarding like most of the people think that like if you get internal audit experience, then you are ready to work in the industry. Like you can switch to a switching to a big private company like Reliance or something, get
mm.
into their finance team or something. So does internal audit profile really help to switch into the industry, or like do people really switch? Have you seen personally? So can you give an like yeah, the correct question, the exit options after IA?
Okay. Uh, by the time you spend a good amount in internal audit domain, say for example 2 to 3 years, you would know the processes. If you're lucky enough to get an enriching basket of clients, you would know the procurement, F&A, logistics. So
Yes,
if you're able to pick up the things and if you find interest in any one of the processes, yes, definitely you can switch. But uh, even if you want to, go from consulting to an industry in an IA profile as well, it is again possible because you see every company, be it private, public, listed, unlisted, is more focusing right now on managing their risk, maintaining robust corporate governance, ensuring statutory compliance, and assessing the effectiveness of internal control. So IA is, I mean, you can dwell a lot of time in this profile. You can switch across industry in big fours. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. By the time, I mean, you would know internal audit as well, and you would know the
yes,
process level, process specific process, I mean, activities as well. So yes,
yes.
switches.
So it will definitely help because you will get an in-depth experience of handling various types of like the P2P team or O2C team. So
Even
all of this,
industry-wide knowledge you would have. You would have
yes,
manufacturing, steel manufacturing to tea manufacturing. So you have
yes. You
a
will even
broader
have idea
horizon.
of the competitor analysis. Like you would do everything, like what the other companies in that particular industry are implementing, like anything, right? So the scope is huge in
Huge,
internal
yes,
audit.
huge.
That's really good to know. And like
Even I've met few people who were into internal audit initially, into consumer sector, and as they went ahead in their career, they switched to IT.
okay, okay.
So yeah, from consumer to IT, totally. They went to industry only. They did really well. They have retired as BP.
What
So they,
nice.
yeah,
That is like you can go from anywhere to anywhere. So it's all upon your interest and like desire to work, I
yeah.
would say. That's good. And like coming to ICAI, our alumni, so our prestigious institute, like do we have any scope of ICAI offering any kind of extra certificate courses like post qualification?
Yes, we do have. We do have a certification course for internal audit. We do have one course for concurrent audit specifically for banks.
Nice.
So it has good. I mean, you get credited for
Yes.
CP hours, and then it
Yes.
is an assessment based. So by the time you take the course, you give the assessment, you are already ready, skilled to take it up.
Yes. Yes. Nice. So like I have my questions completed and they have all been answered perfectly, point to
Nice.
point basis. I think Sonia is now an expert in giving like the answers how much they are required because she's already into internal audit and like she has been answering all the questions perfectly. So even like guys, do you have any other extra questions to ask Sonia? You can unmute yourself and ask.
Please,
You are
please do
ready
so.
to go. The ground is open and the an opportunity like this like won't come again and again. So take this opportunity, guys, and ask and interact with her. You can also put it in the chat box. But we received a lot of questions, like a lot of questions actually.
So it was a fun webinar.
Yeah, it was I too learned a lot of things like actually like because I never worked in can you cover the upskilling required?
Okay. So
Wow.
yes, in internal audit, as you work in on your client engagement, you automatically upskill yourself. But other than that, you should inculcate the habit of reading and research. So those who are into stock markets, you should keep up with the economic trends, the economic news is impacting global, domestic news is used to. You have to keep up with that. Develop a habit of regular reading. So I mean,
Yeah,
I am also trying
yeah,
to, but you should
yeah.
always read something, like a newspaper, even not if not a full newspaper, right? Read some columns every morning. Try to build that habit, which will help you. So, and again, attend the conferences and workshops, which is held from every now and then by ICAI and IIA. So it will
Correct.
help you keep abreast with the industry trends. So again, I mentioned I recently attended an IIA conference which spoke about IA in internal audit, boon or bane. So
Yes.
there, the eminent speakers have enlightened us on how we can deploy the IA tools to improve and enhance our deliverables. And they also threw light upon the expansion of IA horizons with the scope of auditing of AI tools. So,
Yes. So the
we see
scope is,
ChatGPT.
yeah.
So I mean, the future is not so far that we would start auditing ChatGPT.
Right. AI is everywhere. Even
Yes,
it's in the Zoom with the session we are using. It's in our cameras. It's in our auditing.
yes,
Like
yes,
there is no day without ChatGPT entering any
yes.
question. So
Yes.
I
So
think
coming
yes,
back to upskilling, since AI is, it's a future now. So it's rolling out very fast. So I would suggest people should do CISA courses again.
yes,
It's offered by IIA and ICAI post qualifications as well. So it will give you an edge above the others. So keep up with the changes, technological changes, and use it to your benefit. We can use ChatGPT to draft our audit reports, give a better analytics, reasoning. So AI now recently has rolled out the reason-based search. So you put an input, you put a prompt, and that it gives you a human reasoned out or responses. So it will feel like a human is interacting with you, not
yes.
just you know the computer answering your questions. So I've been using
That's
ChatGPT for quite some time. I've seen the
yeah,
changes.
yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good. So,
It's
and benefit of Big Four is that we have our in-house L&D modules, learning and development modules, which is
okay.
assessment based. So it
Hmm.
ensures that we are always learning on the job. So every recent changes, AI tools and everything. So we have our own in-house AI tools which we use and keep on developing every now and then. That is one added advantage that we get.
Thank you so much for answering it in such
And
detail.
one
Yeah.
lastly, one important thing is the team discussion. Try to have a quality circle within your team. That one weekend, I mean Friday evening, you sit with your team member that we do like exchange. So I would come up with some of the unique observations that I came up with my client, and I would share with my team member that, and he would share with me. So that's how we are learning from each other.
Yeah,
So
then you
that
can
is one important
extend
thing.
the scope also regarding that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. There is another
Is
question.
there any AI-based software application that Deloitte uses internally or in-house? Yes, we do have one. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak, but because it has not been yet rolled out for.
No, then kindly don't reveal. Yeah, then it's
So
confidential.
I would just give a brief about it that it reduces the manual reading of document. So it summarizes the
Okay,
document.
okay,
So like if we had to go through 10 lease documents in a span of 1 to 2 days and give a report on it, with that tool, we can do it in a couple of hours and in one day time.
okay.
So it summarizes the entire
That's a
document.
really good
Same,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So same, we can get our report reviewed through a tool. So it will review our report and give us the inputs how we can improve more. So these are the tools that we are using.
that's nice. That's really nice.
It's
And you
very
would always
interesting.
have tools, always have softwares or tools with the because you use it extensively in your daily work. Yeah, yes. So thanks a lot. Yeah,
Thank you, Vasu.
you have answered all the audience questions and my questions as well. And now the ground is open for you also. If you want to share anything extra, then you are always welcome, Sonia. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the session.
Okay, I've pretty much touched upon all the points
Yes.
that I came up with.
Yeah,
So yes,
courses, your client handling, your like the courses upskilling. I think almost everything, industry growth, hierarchy,
mm,
like the day-to-day interactions. Yeah, almost all of them are cover interview experience.
so yes, I've spoken about the technical aspect of it, how to use your technical knowledges. But one important thing is that we also have to work on our behavioral aspect. So as we climb up the ladder, so you have to increase your frustration level tolerance. You have to keep your emotions in check, not to get frustrated, which I'm also working on. So yeah, so we will see from easy clients to difficult clients, but we have to keep our cool, act professional, show up fresh next day. So develop your behavioral skills, managerial skills, because you are working in a team, you will become the manager next. So you have
Yes.
to have that skill to manage your team, manage your, take stand for your team. I mean, go talk to the client, everything. It's all in all. So as you climb up the ladder, it's not just about doing your work. You do the audit and submit the report. It's not that. You have to have the organization
Yeah.
skills, the people skills, communication skills, how to run the team, how to run the firm at large. So yes, work on your behavioral skills as well, managerial skills, because you are the future manager. So yes, to work on.
Yes, right. Because I think like this aspect is being emphasized by almost all of the companies in their interview process, like
Mm,
recruitment process, if I have to say. Even for PSUs, even for my first company interview experience, they had a behavioral test separately. Like they will give you the scenarios in the company which you would face post joining, and you have
mm,
to answer. Like you have to say them. Like how would you behave in this particular situation? Like what would you be the scenarios? So you have to select out of the multiple choice questions. So
correct.
like the
Psychometric test, I
yes,
believe.
psychometric test they say. So this is like a very important aspect, guys, and you guys won't believe many get filtered in that test
Mm.
because they are not suitable.
Clearing
They
that is tougher than clearing the technical round. It.
yes, yes. Because personality building and behavioral like reflection or situation handling is something very special and you have to develop it along with your technical knowledge. Think this is a very good point which has been highlighted by the end. So that's a really good point. Glad that you took up uh in
Because
your
we need to emphasize on the behavioral aspect, but I
yes.
won't say about, I mean, I'm lucky to have a good manager, but not everyone is lucky. So
Yes, good
it
manager
is very
is
important to
always a
have
great.
good managers.
Yes, right. So it was almost a 1 hour 5 minutes interview. Like it's a completely detailed interview. It was too
Yeah,
much
and not a
fun.
single minute where I felt,
Mm,
that it's
every
getting
minute
slow
was
paced.
valuable. Yeah.
Yes. So lovely, lovely set of audience, very interactive, lot of
Yeah.
questions.
Yes. Those who have attended, like they have everyone had questions and
I
everyone.
hope they have taken some, takeaways.
Yes, they would surely have. They would 100% have the takeaways. There's no doubt about it. So yeah,
Thank you,
Muskan,
Muskan.
thank you, and even Vasant, yeah,
Thank you,
Vasant has.
Vasu.
So let me
Really,
just take a screenshot. You can also take your phone
mm,
and just take.
thank you, Debaini.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Sonia. Covered almost everything in detail, and special thanks to Sai Charan. My pleasure, guys. So this was my motive to detailedly discuss, and glad I think I took all the questions. Yes, next week 8:30, every Sunday 8:30. Block the calendars for me. I am going to bring a lot of speakers, and every single Sunday we'll be having new topics. Everything will be something new to explore, and you guys will get a lot of myths busted and also a lot of new insights to develop for yourself. And every webinar will be free to attend. You guys, the playground is yours. You can come
Yes.
and ask and
Please do
interact.
ask questions, do ask a lot of questions, get all your doubts clear. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Aditya, Ronnie. It really means a lot.
Devyani, I think she is a Bengali, so yes.
Ah, yeah, Devyani, I think she has written as me. So I am from
Yeah,
Assam. So
okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
really, really good to see you here. Thank
Yes,
you.
so next Sunday's poster will be out by Tuesday, and next Sunday I and along with one other guy, so we'll be coming, and it will be a very special topic, and I think like it will be a blast. So get ready, guys. So a lot of
Okay.
Northeast people have
Oh,
attended, and they
Ronnie,
are
yes.
there.
Hi, hi, hi. Lovely seeing you guys from Northeast. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm at Gurgaon, and she's in Kolkata, and like I think
We have
almost
people from across in India.
across the
So
country. And yes, we'll
fantastic.
definitely post this interview in YouTube, and you guys are like everyone
You can
can
always
see.
circle back to that video in case you need
Yes,
anything.
but lucky are
Yes.
those guys who have attended and they asked all the questions. Not everyone would have that chance. So
Yes.
yes they are
So in
very
case
lucky.
post the session, if you do have any questions, please do reach out to me and Sai, on our LinkedIn profile.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, you guys
yeah,
are always open. You can reach out to her
yes.
on LinkedIn also. Sonia Dhar is her LinkedIn profile, and you can also ask her for references.
Sure,
You
sure.
can just say like, I have attended your webinar. Can you refer me? Okay, so
Yeah,
she will
okay.
refer you.
Great.
Okay,
Lovely,
so
lovely.
yes, so good night, guys. Thank you so much for your
Thank you so
response.
much for joining in.
My heart is full, and yes, so we are ending the recording now, and a very good night, guys.
Bye. Bye, guys. Good